Have you ever just, stared up at the night sky, or maybe looks really close at, say, a drop of pond water under a microscope, and you get that feeling, that sense that there's just so much more there than what you could actually see?
Absolutely. That feeling of the unseen, the hidden reality, it's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So much of our universe, from the absolutely massive scale down to the microscopic, it's still hidden from us. And that pull, that need to know what's hidden, that's what we're really diving into today.
It really is one of the most powerful drivers we have, isn't it? That innate human desire to just peel back the layers to understand.
So our mission for this deep dive is to explore exactly that.
Yeah.
How does this fundamental curiosity push us to understand all these unseen, unknown parts of the universe? We're going to talk about dark matter and not just the stuff out in space holding galaxies together.
Right, which is mind-bending enough.
Totally. But also this idea of microbial dark matter, this hidden world of tiny life. And you'll hear some pretty surprising things, I think, about what scientists are finding out, and maybe more importantly, what's still a huge mystery, stuff that really challenges what we thought we knew.
Yeah, and to do that, we've pulled together quite a range of sources. We've got university research papers, Penn State, PNAS, Frontiers, really cutting-edge stuff.
Okay.
But also reflections from scientists, like in Thieme Connect, insights from NASA, of course, and even some, philosophical explorations of curiosity itself, Wikipedia, the quest for knowledge. We've tried to boil down the key ideas from all of these.
Great. So let's start with curiosity itself. We all kind of feel it, that itch to explore, to learn something new. But what is it, really? When we talk about curiosity, what are we actually digging into?
That's a great question. I mean, at its simplest, curiosity is, it's about inquisitive thinking, right? Exploring, investigating, learning. It's seen as this fundamental driving force behind pretty much all human development.
All human development. Wow. Like science, language?
Science, language, industry, you name it. It's not just a nice-to-have quality. Many argue it's absolutely foundational to who we are and how we progress.
So it's deeper than just, like, solving a puzzle that's right in front of you. It's this drive to know more, even when there's no obvious problem.
Exactly. And psychologists actually made a really interesting distinction. There's what they call perceptual curiosity. That's the basic exploratory behavior you see in lots of animals. Think of a cat batting at a piece of string. It's exploring its immediate environment.
Okay, I can picture that.
But then there's epistemic curiosity. And this seems to be, maybe uniquely human, or at least much more developed in us. It's the desire for knowledge itself, for understanding, that deep, I need to know why, or I need to know how, that pushes us towards abstract thought, towards science.
So it's not just a passing thing. It's something you can actually, grow and develop.
Yes, exactly. Research suggests it isn't fixed. You can nurture it, cultivate it, right from infancy through your whole life. And there are different psychological theories about why we're so curious.
Okay, like what?
Well, one is the curiosity drive theory. This basically suggests we seek information to reduce unpleasant feelings, like uncertainty or ambiguity. You know that feeling when you don't understand something and it's kind of uncomfortable?
Yeah, definitely. Like needing to finish a story or find the missing piece.
Right. It's about restoring a sense of order, of knowing. So discomfort drives us, but that's not the whole picture.
Okay, so there's more to it than just avoiding not knowing.
There is. There's also the optimal arousal theory. This adds another layer. It suggests we also seek out new things, new experiences, just to maintain a pleasant level of stimulation, even when there's no real uncertainty to resolve. We actively look for novelty, for engagement, sometimes just because it feels good.
Interesting. So we're wired to push beyond the familiar, just for the sake of it sometimes. What's going on in the brain then? Why does discovery feel rewarding?
Well, that's where the brain's reward pathway comes in. It involves dopamine, a neurotransmitter you've probably heard of. This system assigns value to new information. So discovering something, learning something new, it actually triggers a pleasure response. It literally feels good.
Uh-huh. That explains why clicking through Wikipedia links at 2 a.m. can feel so compelling.
Doesn't it just? And, this isn't just a modern psychological idea. Philosophers have been thinking about this drive for centuries.
Right, like Einstein. Yeah. He seemed pretty driven by curiosity.
Oh, absolutely. Albert Einstein had some really profound things to say about it. He famously said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing."
Its own reason for existing. I like that.
Yeah. And he also said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science." That sense of wonder.
So the mystery itself is valuable, not just the answer.
Precisely. And for philosophers going way back, like Plato, that act of wondering about things, that was philosophy. It was the starting point, which is why today curiosity is often talked about as an intellectual virtue, sometimes called an epistemic virtue. It's essential for actually gaining real knowledge and understanding.
So whether it's Einstein's deep wonder or Plato's starting point, curiosity is clearly the engine. And what a massive mystery is driving us towards next 10 team. Maybe the biggest one out there.
Oh, wow.
All the stuff missing from the universe.
You're talking about dark matter and dark energy. Yeah, these are arguably the two single biggest puzzles in physics and astronomy today. I mean, just think about the numbers. Together, they make up something like 95% of the total mass and energy content of the universe.
95%. That's the number always gets me. It's almost everything.
It's staggering. Roughly 70% is dark energy, this sort of accelerating force, and about 25% is dark matter.
Okay, so 95% we can't see. It doesn't absorb light, reflect light, emit light.
Yeah.
It's just dark.
Yeah.
How on earth do scientists even know it's there if it's completely invisible? What's the evidence?
It's all indirect, but it's very compelling evidence built up over a long time. The very first hints actually go back to 1884. William Thomson, later Lord Kelvin, he estimated the Milky Way's mass and found it seemed much heavier than just the stars you could see.
1884.
Yeah. Then more concrete evidence came in the 1930s. Astronomers like Fritz Zwicky and Sinclair Smith, they were looking at galaxy clusters, specifically the Coma cluster. And they noticed the galaxies were moving way too fast, faster than the gravity from the visible matter could possibly hold on to.
So something else had to be there, providing extra gravity, like an unseen anchor?
Exactly, some kind of unseen mass providing the gravitational pull. And this idea got much stronger in the 1970s with studies of galaxy rotation curves. Vera Rubin and Kent Ford's work was pivotal here. They showed stars on the outskirts of galaxies were orbiting just as fast as stars closer in, which completely defied Newtonian physics if you only accounted for visible matter. There had to be a huge halo of invisible matter.
Right, the gravity is the clue. So dark matter acts like this cosmic scaffolding, holding galaxies together. And dark energy is doing the opposite, pushing things apart.
That's the picture, yes. Dark matter provides the gravitational glue. Dark energy seems to be this repulsive force that's causing the expansion of the universe not just to continue, but to accelerate.
Okay, mind officially bending. How does this connect back to the very beginning, the Big Bang?
Well, the current thinking is that dark matter itself was likely created in the Big Bang, along with ordinary matter. We see evidence for this in the cosmic microwave background, the CMB.
The afterglow of the Big Bang,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly, that faint heat left over. The CMB isn't perfectly uniform. It has tiny temperature fluctuations, tiny little variations. These represent slight density differences in the very early universe.
Okay.
During a period of incredibly rapid expansion right after the Big Bang, called inflation, these tiny fluctuations got stretched out to enormous scales, and those slightly denser regions, seeded by both ordinary and dark matter, acted as gravitational wells, pulling in more matter over billions of years to form the galaxies and galaxy clusters we see today. Dark matter played a crucial role in that structure formation.
And this leads us to that Penn State research you mentioned, the cosmic tango. Are they trying to fine-tune this picture using a different approach? Because didn't you say Einstein's theories have trouble at the very earliest moments?
That's exactly right. Einstein's general relativity works brilliantly on large scales, but it breaks down at the singularity of the Big Bang and at the incredibly tiny quantum scales where those initial fluctuations originated. Smaller than a proton kind of scale. So the Penn State research uses something called loop quantum cosmology, or LQC. It's based on loop quantum gravity, which pictures space-time not as a smooth sheet, but as woven from these incredibly tiny discrete quantum threads.
Quantum threads, okay, that sounds wild.
It is. But what's exciting is that LQC avoids the Big Bang singularity. Instead of a single starting point, it suggests the universe might have bounced from a previous contracting phase. And crucially, when they apply LQC to the early universe physics influencing the CMB, it seems to naturally resolve two major anomalies, two inconsistencies in the CMB data that general relativity really struggles to explain.
So it smooths out wrinkles in the data that didn't quite fit the standard model.
Yeah, essentially. It potentially avoids what some are calling a crisis in cosmology because the standard model based on GR couldn't fully account for these CMB observations. LQC offers a potential solution rooted in quantum gravity, a real tango between the quantum and the cosmic.
Wow. Okay, so we have this strong theoretical basis and observational evidence, but how are scientists actually looking for this stuff? If it's invisible, how do you even try to detect a particle of dark matter?
It takes some seriously clever and sensitive experiments. There are basically three main strategies. First is direct detection.
Okay.
This involves building detectors, often using materials like super pure germanium or silicon crystals, and burying them deep underground, like miles deep in mines or tunnels.
Well, underground.
To shield them from cosmic rays and other background radiation that could mimic a signal. The idea is that very, very rarely, a dark matter particle drifting through the Earth might bump into an atomic nucleus in the detector crystal. This collision would deposit a tiny amount of energy, creating a faint signal, like a vibration or a flash of light, that the sensors are designed to pick up.
So you're basically listening for the faintest possible whisper in a completely silent room.
That's a great analogy. It's incredibly challenging. Then there's indirect detection.
How does that work?
Instead of looking for the dark matter particle itself, scientists look for the products of dark matter interactions out in space. For instance, if dark matter particles occasionally annihilate each other or decay, they might produce standard particles we can detect, like high-energy gamma rays, neutrinos, or even antimatter particles like positrons and antiprotons. So telescopes look for excesses of these particles coming from regions where dark matter is expected to be dense, like the center of our galaxy.
Okay, so looking for the smoke, not the fire itself.
Kind of, yeah. And the third approach is accelerator detection, trying to make it ourselves.
Like at the Large Hadron Collider.
Exactly. At particle colliders like the LHC, they smash protons or other particles together at incredibly high energies, mimicking conditions just fractions of a second after the Big Bang. The hope is that some of these collisions might produce dark matter particles. We wouldn't see the dark matter particle directly, but it would carry away energy and momentum, leaving a characteristic missing energy signature in the detector that physicists can look for.
So 3 different angles. Wait for it to hit us, look for its debris in space, or try to make it ourselves. Are they looking for specific kinds of dark matter particles?
Yes, theory provides candidates. For a long time, the leading candidates were WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles. These would be relatively heavy particles that interact via the weak nuclear force and gravity. More recently, another candidate called the axion has gained a lot of attention. Axions would be extremely lightweight particles, very different from WIMPs. There are active searches for both and other more exotic possibilities too.
It's amazing the sheer ingenuity involved in searching for something that makes up so much of the universe yet is so elusive.
It really is.
Okay, so we've tackled the cosmic dark matter, the vast unseen structure of the universe. But you mentioned earlier this idea applies on a completely different scale, too. Microbial dark matter. That sounds intriguing.
It is, and it's a very similar concept, just applied to the world of microbes. So microbial dark matter refers to the huge majority of microbial life, bacteria, archaea, single-celled eukaryotes that scientists haven't been able to grow or study using traditional lab techniques.
The ones we can't grow in a petri dish.
Exactly, and the numbers are just as staggering as the cosmic ones in their own way. Estimates suggest that something like 80% of all microbial types or taxa fall into this category, and maybe up to 85% of the phylogenetic diversity among prokaryotes, bacteria, and archaea is uncultured.
80%. Again, this huge hidden majority.
Right.
Why is it so difficult? Why can't we just grow them like we do E. coli or yeast?
Well, traditional methods usually involve using nutrient-rich liquid broths or agar plates. And these conditions tend to favor microbes that grow really fast and aren't too picky about their food, the generalists. But many, probably most microbes in the wild are specialists. They have very specific needs. Maybe they need a particular nutrient only found in their environment, or maybe they depend on waste products from other microbes living nearby. They live in complex communities, and those relationships are incredibly hard to replicate in a simple lab dish.
So it's like trying to keep a wild animal that only eats one specific rare plant alive in a zoo that only serves generic chow.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah. Plus, all sorts of other factors matter. The gelling agent used in the petri dish, agar itself, can inhibit some microbes. The length of time you wait, some grow incredibly slowly. The temperature, the pH, the oxygen levels. Slight variations can make all the difference between growth and no growth.
Right, they're adapted to very specific niches. Are we making any headway then? Are we starting to get glimpses into this microbial dark matter?
Oh, definitely. There's been huge progress, especially with advances in genetic sequencing technologies. There was a really groundbreaking study published in PNAS looking at marine microbes. They sampled from the deep sea and near hydrothermal vents, extreme environments.
Okay, places you'd expect unique life.
Exactly. And instead of just trying to culture them, they used a technique called massively parallel tag sequencing to analyze the genetic material directly from the samples. And what they found was, well, astonishing. The bacterial communities were 10 to 100 times more complex, more diverse than previous studies using older methods had ever suggested.
10 to 100 times. That's not just a small correction, that's a fundamental shift in understanding.
It absolutely was. It revealed this incredible hidden diversity. And this connects to an important concept called the rare biosphere.
The rare biosphere, what's that?
It refers to the observation that in many environments, most of the microbial diversity, the sheer number of different types, is actually made up of thousands upon thousands of species that are present in very low numbers. They're rare individually, but collectively, they represent the vast majority of the phylogenetic tree of life in that sample.
So it's not just a few dominant species and some hangers-on, it's a huge number of low-abundant specialists.
Precisely. And these aren't just evolutionary dead ends. Many of them seem to be ancient lineages that have persisted for incredibly long periods, just ticking over at low abundance. The implication connecting this back is that this rare biosphere acts as a massive reservoir of genetic diversity and potential functions.
It's like a seed bank.
Kind of, yeah. A nearly inexhaustible source of genomic innovation, as the researchers put it. This vast hidden diversity might explain how microbial communities can bounce back after environmental disasters. There's always some rare member suited to the new conditions. It also explains why almost every time scientists sequence a new microbial genome, especially from an uncultured group, they find tons of novel genes with unknown functions.
That's incredible. A hidden engine of evolution and resilience right under our noses, or deep in the ocean. So if traditional culturing doesn't work well, what are scientists doing now to try and access this microbial dark matter? What are the new tricks?
They're getting very creative. There's a big push for alternative approaches for culturing extremophiles and other hard-to-grow microbes. One angle is just improving the media.
How so?
Moving beyond standard media. Using very low nutrient media that better mimics natural environments where resources are scarce. Trying different gelling agents besides agar, like gel and gum, which seems to allow more types to grow. And being incredibly patient, extending incubation times, sometimes for months, like up to 15 weeks in some studies.
15 weeks waiting for a petri dish. That's dedication. What about their social lives, the community aspect?
Yeah, that's crucial too. Researchers are exploring co-culture approaches where they deliberately try to grow multiple types of microbes together, hoping they'll provide essential compounds for each other, like they do in nature.
Okay, trying to rebuild a community.
And even more direct is in situ cultivation. This involves putting microbes inside special diffusion chambers devices with membranes that allow nutrients and waste to pass through from the environment, and then placing these chambers right back into the microbe's natural habitat. Like putting a little microbial hotel back in the ocean, sediment, or soil.
Bringing the lab to the microbe, literally. That's clever. Are there ways to target specific cells?
Yes, absolutely. There's cell-targeted cultivation. This uses really sophisticated tools, things like fluorescence-activated cell sorting, FACS, which can physically separate individual cells based on specific properties, or live-fesh, which uses fluorescent probes to identify specific types of living cells, even micromanipulators or optical tweezers using lasers to physically pick up and move single cells to isolate a target microbe and try to grow it.
Oh, like microscopic surgery.
It really is. And maybe one of the most powerful approaches now is genomics-guided cultivation, sometimes called reverse genomics isolation.
Reverse genomics. How does that work?
You start with the genetic information first. Using metagenomics sequencing all the DNA in an environmental sample, scientists can reconstruct the genomes of uncultured microbes. By analyzing a microbe's genome, they can predict its metabolic capabilities, what it likely eats, what conditions it prefers, what waste products it makes. Then they use those predictions to design a highly specific, tailored culture medium and growth conditions to try and coax that particular microbe into growing in the lab.
That's brilliant. Using the instruction manual, the genome, to figure out how to build the right house for it.
Exactly. It's flipping the traditional process on its head.
So this massive effort to uncover microbial dark matter, why does it matter beyond just satisfying scientific curiosity? What are the potential payoffs?
Oh, the potential is enormous, especially in biotechnology. Many of these uncultured microbes, particularly extremophiles living in harsh conditions like hot springs or very salty water, are likely sources of incredibly robust enzymes.
Enzymes that can handle tough conditions.
Right. Enzymes that could be used in industrial processes that involve high temperatures, extreme pH, or high salt concentrations. Things like producing biofuels, manufacturing textiles, developing new pharmaceuticals. These microbes have evolved proteins that are naturally stable under extreme conditions. They could also provide novel biosurfactants, biological cleaning agents for things like cleaning up oil spills, which is a huge environmental challenge.
So potentially new medicines, greener industrial processes, better environmental cleanup. That's huge practical value hidden in this dark matter.
Definitely. And there's another really fascinating connection, astrobiology.
The search for life beyond Earth. How does microbial dark matter connect there?
While studying extremophiles here on Earth, microbes that thrive in conditions we once thought were completely inhospitable gives us vital clues about where and how life might exist elsewhere in the solar system or beyond. Many extremophiles live in environments analogous to conditions found or thought to exist on Mars or on icy moons like Europa or Enceladus.
So understanding life at the edges here helps us know what to look for out there.
Precisely. When NASA's Perseverance rover drills into Martian rocks looking for promising signs of life, the knowledge gained from studying Earth's extremophiles, including those from the microbial dark matter, informs what those signs might look like and where best to search. It expands our whole conception of what habitable means.
It's amazing how it all connects. We've gone from the scale of galaxies held together by unseen matter to the microscopic world teeming with unseen life, all fueled by the same fundamental drive.
Exactly. Both cosmic dark matter and microbial dark matter are, in a way, perfect examples of the limits of our current knowledge, right?
Yeah.
They show us how much we don't know. But maybe more importantly, they showcase the incredible power of human curiosity to just keep pushing against those limits.
It really is that relentless urge, isn't it? To explore what we can't see, to try and grasp what seems incomprehensible. That seems to be the common thread driving scientists everywhere.
And it forces us to confront our, human-centric thinking. It constantly reminds us that reality is vastly bigger, vastly stranger, and vastly more complex than our immediate perceptions suggest. Whether it's realizing most of the universe's matter is invisible, or that most of Earth's biodiversity is microbial and hidden.
It puts us in our place, in a way. There's that old saying, isn't there? A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
That sums it up beautifully. True discovery means venturing out, taking risks, sailing into the unknown, because the potential reward understanding is just too compelling to stay safe in the harbor.
And that drive, that unquenchable curiosity, it feels like more than just a tool for science. It feels fundamental.
I think it is. It's an intrinsic part of what makes us human, that constant reaching for the unknown.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've journeyed from the cosmic scaffolding holding the universe together unseen to the teeming hidden microbial world beneath our feet and in our oceans, and the light guiding us through both these dark matters, that persistent spark of human curiosity.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Given that science keeps revealing these vast domains of dark matter, things fundamental to reality that exist just beyond our easy perception, whether cosmic or microbial, what else might be out there? What other fundamental aspects of reality could be hidden in plain sight, just waiting for our curiosity to develop the right tools, the right questions to uncover them?
Yeah. What new kinds of dark matter might future generations stumble upon? And how will those discoveries change our understanding of ourselves and our place in this still deeply mysterious universe?
It's a thought to keep pondering, definitely. The quest continues.